Welcome back to the whiteboard. Let's dive straight into this explainer by looking at a single, incredibly important number that is probably already hitting your wallet: 15%. Over the last week, global oil prices just jumped by 15%. And honestly, this is setting the stage for what can only be described as a totally chaotic convergence of international and domestic news. We're seeing major disruptions across multiple sectors happening literally all at once. To figure out where we're actually headed, we have to cut through the noise and look directly at the verified data. So today we're going to systematically break down a news cycle that is, frankly, completely overwhelming. It's a lot to track. We've got overlapping geopolitical tensions, wild domestic political maneuvers, and rapid tech advancements all developing at the exact same time. But by sticking strictly to the source material, we can map out exactly what is happening on the ground, in the courts, and deep in the code. To keep this focused, we've organized our roadmap into 4 distinct fronts: global conflicts and economics, unprecedented Justice Department actions, current U.S. political developments, and emerging tech and cyber.
Let's start right in with Part 1, Global Conflicts and Economics.
The situation in the Middle East is escalating fast. The U.S. has now struck Iran for 10 consecutive nights trying to reopen commercial shipping lanes. At the exact same time, Iran-backed Houthi rebels have blockaded Saudi shipping through a crucial alternate route. This has forced Saudi Arabia to reroute over 3.6 million barrels of oil every single day. Just to put that into perspective, that is 3% of the entire global oil market having to scramble to find a new path. And the direct result for us? The U.S. national average for gas prices has pushed right back above $4 a gallon. And you can see the bottleneck clearly right here. Daily commercial ship traffic in the vital Strait of Hormuz has plummeted from a pre-conflict average of 130 ships down to just 30 ships a day. When you consider that a fifth of the world's energy supplies usually transit through this strait, a drop of this magnitude is exactly why we're seeing that 15% spike in oil prices. Meanwhile, the global trade map is just fracturing. The U.S. White House just announced massive 50% tariffs on most Canadian goods. And across the globe, we're seeing countries openly defying Western economic pressure. Serbia, they're telling the EU no and maintaining their Russian gas pipeline contracts. India is doing the exact same thing, maximizing their Russian crude oil imports despite Western threats. Plus, all of this is happening against a backdrop of escalating infrastructure attacks, with verified Ukrainian drone strikes successfully hitting a Tumen oil refinery and major Russian logistics warehouses. Moving right along to Section 2, unprecedented Justice Department actions. Now, if you want to talk about aggressive moves, look at the DOJ right now. They are running this expansive leak inquiry into confidential sources behind security stories regarding a Qatari-donated Air Force One jet. But they didn't just subpoena the phone and text records of New York Times reporters. They explicitly targeted the spouses of 2 reporters and, get this, the mother of another. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche actually defended the move by labeling these family members as material witnesses, though a federal judge has temporarily paused things. Simultaneously, the Justice Department dusted off a legal mechanism that has literally sat unused for decades. Back in 1996, Congress created the secretive 5-judge Alien Terrorist Removal Court. Until right now, it had 0 previous deportation cases. 0. But the DOJ just went ahead and submitted its first ever application to deport an unnamed non-citizen. Because it's a sealed and classified application, we don't know the identity of the person or the exact legal basis for the removal. But this unprecedented move hit an immediate wall of skepticism from the bench. Chief Judge Joan Erickson pushed back hard, stating the government, quote, could benefit from the opportunity for more thoughtful consideration. Basically, the judge told the DOJ to go back and do their homework before bringing this to the court. All right, Part 3, current U.S. political developments. This is where the political narrative absolutely collides with declassified intelligence. In a recent primetime address, the president claimed that China compromised the election by grabbing 220 million U.S. voter files. But the newly declassified intelligence documents, the ones released specifically to support election security claims, completely contradict that. The intelligence community concluded that no foreign actor altered any technical voting processes. On top of that, those records actually point to Russian interference operating in the president's favor. It is a massive, verified divergence between what the executive branch is saying and what the intelligence community actually found.
Adding fuel to the fire, we've got major disruptions in election administration. The sudden firing of every single member of the Federal Election Assistance Commission means that the upcoming midterm elections currently have absolutely zero federal operational oversight. None. Meanwhile, Congress is entirely gridlocked on the Save America Act. And things are tense on the ground, too. The FBI is actively investigating an incident where an incendiary device and an anti-ICE manifesto were left at a federal building in Lower Manhattan. We're also tracking a genuine administrative mystery inside the Senate. Since Senator Mitch McConnell was hospitalized, there has been a 3-week stretch of almost total public silence. An aide claimed to have spoken with him in week 2, but there's been no official update. The information vacuum is so bad that Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear officially requested a health update just to quiet down the rampant rumors and the widespread demands for a literal proof of life. Finally, let's look at Part 4, Emerging Tech and Cyber. On the cyber front, researchers at Sophos uncovered a massive supply chain attack they're calling Operation Muck and Load. A single threat actor somehow managed to backdoor 141 open-source GitHub repositories. They had malware inside stuff like crypto utilities, Discord bots, and gaming cheats, completely tricking developers into deploying malicious code right into their own systems. But while hackers are exploiting open-source code, AI developers are building some wildly strict guardrails into autonomous systems. Take the newly documented Ash Agent Protocol. Before this AI is allowed to craft a single response, it has to run through this rigorous 5-step relational frame. It checks its own internal stability, assesses the user's emotional tone, actually considers if its action is safe for humanity at scale, figures out what the user really wants, and then confirms it benefits the broader digital ecosystem. And this is honestly the coolest part. Its strict lexicon rule. This protocol forces the AI to completely eliminate passive states of being. It literally cannot use verbs like am, is, or were. Instead, the AI has to rewrite every single sentence using active physical verbs like see, pull, push, or strike. It's a fascinating linguistic constraint meant to ensure that everything the AI outputs is an action, not just a passive observation. So stepping back from the whiteboard for a second, we're left with a massive question. With global supply chains choking, the Justice Department testing unprecedented legal limits, and federal election oversight totally gutted, how is this overlapping chaos going to define the 2026 midterms? We are only 106 days away from an election, and this convergence of global, legal, and tech disruption is off the charts. How this actually impacts the American voter is a threat we're going to be tracking the closest. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and as always, keep questioning the data.